Welcome to the McClure Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the McClure Show. I introduce to you. Welcome to the McClure Show, Prince of the Revolution. Welcome to the McClure Show, McClure. Come on. You are welcome to.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, everybody's favorite pastor. I am Mike McClure. Let me welcome you to the Mike McClure Show. Listen, it's going to be a great time this evening. We're looking forward to some great guests. We're going to talk about education tonight, going back into the school system and whether or not it's safe or what's going on, man. We're going to talk about all of it. Y'all feel me? And your boy, you know what? I really want to hear your heart tonight. I really want to see what you got to say about that thing. You know, man, we about to send these. You know, somebody said to me, they said, Pastor Mike, you know, the school board has not met in person in a while. They're meeting over Zoom, but they're sending our kids back into the jungle. And I said to myself, oh, man, I hadn't even considered that. I hadn't thought about that. So we're going to get your ideas. We're going to see what you think about that. Feel free tonight. We want you to hit us up in that chat. We want your heart. You do not have to hold back. Say what you got to say, you know, asking the questions, making the remarks, respond to anything we say. We're looking forward to it. Remember, this is the Mike McClure Show. This is the Mike McClure Show. Wait a minute. Let me see what this says. Somebody said, Pastor, play that intro again. Y'all want the intro again? Let me see if I can't give y'all the intro one more time. This is my brand new intro. I'm going to give it to you one more time. Check this out.
Welcome to the Mike McClure Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mike McClure Show. I introduce to you. Welcome to the Mike McClure Show, Prince of the Revolution. Welcome to the Mike McClure Show, McClure. Come on. You are welcome to. Everybody in the house tonight, put your hands in the air, rock
Hey, that's how your boy do it. What? Welcome to the Mike McClure Show. Listen, I have some great guests coming in tonight. I'm looking forward to them, man. It's going to be a great time. All three of my guests tonight, I'm so excited. I'm so proud. It's such a privilege to welcome them to the Mike McClure Show, our new rebranding and what we're doing now, the direction we're going in. I'm so proud to say that all three of these very wonderful individuals are actually faithful, dedicated members to our ministry, Revelation Church, out in Irondale, Alabama, here in North America. And they are so wonderful. All of them are on the front line. They give their hearts every day, educating our children and raising our children through the school system and doing the things that all of us would really want great educators to do. So tonight, I'm going to bring them on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them all on at the same time. How about that? First of all, if you would, I wish some kind of way I had some kind of applause. I could make some noise when I bring them on. But first of all, if you would, if you're in the chat room, you're watching, just start hitting some hearts, hit them hearts and give me some thumbs up and welcome, first of all, to the Mike McClure Show. Give it up for, I call her Mother Teresa. Give it up for Teresa Rain. Come on. What's up, Mother T?
I'm well. How are you? Doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so welcome. I'm so happy to have you tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad to be a part. It's going to be good.
Let me bring everybody. This second individual, oh my God, y'all going to have to give it up for my son, man. One of my favorite sons in the ministry. This brother come to us by way of Facebook, I believe, or YouTube, or watching us online. And since day one of walking through the doors of Revelation Church, this brother has been faithful. He's been committed. He gives his heart to everything he does. The old folk love him. The young folk love him. The black folk love him. The white folk love him. The skinny folk love him. The fat folk love him. I mean, my mad members, my happy members, everybody loves this brother right here. So wait a minute. Give it up tonight for our own brother Shane Peagler.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's up, SP?
How you doing, Pastor?
Man, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Feeling better.
What's been going on with you?
Nothing, just relaxing and resting, something I'm not used to.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're a hard worker. You keep about 4 or 5 jobs at a time, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, do you have your keyboard?
It's in the other room, but yes, I have.
I might put you on the spot tonight and have you run and get it and play a chord for us or two.
Okay.
Okay, y'all ready? You know what with tonight. I got one more coming out. Oh my God. Say it again. What'd you say, Teresa?
I just said sing, Shane.
Listen, that's right. That's right. I don't know how to introduce this young lady. When we talk about a pleasant attitude, a pleasant disposition, just sunshine into the house of God, just really works well with everybody, loves what she's doing. She also, I'm going to mess up what she do, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. I mess up every time. She's the baccalaureate coordinator for Birmingham school system. Is that close? I'll let her explain. Y'all throw them hearts up, put them thumbs up for our own Jessica Jones Wedgeworth. Give it up. Hey, Jessica, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Man, I am so great. God is good. God has been doing some wonderful things. I'm so excited to have you all on tonight. We're not going to play games tonight. Let's be serious. Can we talk about this and what's going on?
Yeah.
Have y'all heard the term COVID-19?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You heard about it? Teresa,
yes.
What does COVID-19 mean to you? What is COVID-19?
The virus that has us all sheltered in place. That's the virus that has us all sheltered in place. We're trying to stay home and stay safe as we can. Wash our hands so we won't pass the virus to others. That's the whole reason why we've been wearing masks and washing our hands and social distancing and folks working from home as much as they can so that we can stay safe.
I got you. So, let me ask you this, Jessica. What is the biggest difference in your life now, after or during COVID, than prior to COVID?
The biggest difference is the use of technology. I mean, not the use of technology, but communicating with your colleagues, students, and other people via social media, via your computer devices. So we're leaning heavily on that digital resources that we sometimes kind of did not use before. And so also the difference is that I'm kind of isolated in some ways. I feel isolated from my colleagues and even my family members. So it's kind of just the isolation and the way we communicate is the biggest difference.
Wow. Now, Shane, you're not actually originally from Birmingham, is that correct?
No, sir, I'm not.
Where are you from?
Greenville, Alabama.
He's from my parents' hometown.
That's not the same place Forrest Gump was from, is it? No, he was from Greenbow. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So how long have you been down in Birmingham?
Actually, this month made a year.
What? Oh, so when you come to Revelation Church, you were fresh on the scene in Birmingham.
Yes, sir. I had been here about 3 weeks. I visited your son's church 2 weeks, and then I came to your church.
Wow, man, isn't that not amazing? I have 2 sons in ministry.
Oh, I went to the Rock.
Really? Great place, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, that guy is, I can't find the words. He's amazing. I shared with somebody today, as it pertains to my son, Pastor Mike Jr., I shared with them today that many of us are wonderful and we're great and we're anointed, but just being honest, I don't mind saying it, that kid is a phenom. He is actually amazing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm proud to be his dad. So let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about this COVID-19. Shane, in your opinion, when is a safe time for us to go back to school with the kids? Is it safe now to go back?
As me being a teacher now, I wouldn't say that it's not a safe time to go back, because what does safe mean now? even when all this is over, when do we think will be a safe time?
Right.
So I would say yes, just continue to just do what's best for the students and do what's best for you is your household. As it pertains to some people, stay with their grandmother. So, those people may choose not to send their kids to school, whereas it may be a healthy parent who just have one child and she may feel safe sending her child to school. So I would say now would be a safe time and just practice social distancing and cleanliness as best as they can.
Well, let me ask this question for all three of you. Y'all ready? What are your concerns with going back into the classroom? What would be your concerns? And I start with Teresa, all three of you. What are your concerns with going back into the classroom? Come on, T.
Well, my concern is that we're going back to school safely, because I believe everybody wants to go back to school. Teachers, students certainly do. Parents want to, but can we make sure that we're doing it safely? And I feel like, honestly, that we're being sent to school on a prayer. We're just hoping that this thing doesn't blow up, that the COVID numbers don't get higher. And I say that because we have many schools who don't have a nurse. My school is very tiny. We don't have a nurse at our school because we don't have the funding for a school nurse. There are some schools whose 1 or 2 sinks don't work. I mean, can we just be honest? There are some schools who don't have soap. So when they say that they're going to provide all of the material need to be clean, I hope so.
Okay. Ms.
I'm just going to say that. Sometimes they'll give us the supplies and we got them, but they run out, and then now we don't have supplies.
Wow. Ms. Jones, jump in there.
Okay, so my concerns are, I'm also concerned about safety, and my biggest concern starts from thinking about at home. Our parents want to make sure that their kids are COVID free, going through the first protocol before they leave the house. Make sure they don't send the kids to school sick like sometimes parents will. And once they get to us at school, then we have to go through the protocol and procedures to make sure that they are COVID free. And with that being said, my concern is, when we have the human capital to do the temperature checks? Teresa mentioned school nurses. We have the school nurses available to service the staff, teachers, and students. Once that's just when they get to the school door. And then I'm thinking about the time it would take to do the temperature checks in the morning time, and how we stagger the time and when the students get to school. How will the buses run, and how many trips do we have to take? And then once we get inside the classroom, how will we social distance? How will we make sure that the kids are socially distant and the teachers are, they can kind of handle that? So I'm also concerned about the teacher's stress level. Once the kids get into the building, how will they respond?
Ms. Jones, can I jump in there, Ms. Jones?
Okay.
You just brought up an issue that I gave no consideration. I've never thought about the stress level of the educator during this season. Wow. And I'm going to let you finish your answer, but speak to that a little deeper. What do you feel like that's going to be affected?
I think about stress level because teachers are already stressed. First days of school, you're antsy, you're anxious. And so now that we have to focus on making sure that everybody stays safe and healthy, you think about how that will impact the delivery of instruction. Because when when you're stressed, even when I'm stressed from not sleeping sometimes as a teacher, I don't deliver the same type of instruction when I'm sleeping, when I'm tired. So I think about that stress that it will have on a teacher trying to think about, well, I don't want to get COVID, I don't want the kids to get COVID. Then what happens when a child gets it, and how COVID affects your lifestyle, and how it could be life or death. And some people get through it. Shane is a testament to that, and he can speak from first person, his perspective on that. But I'm just concerned and very apprehensive about the first days of school and how it's going to pan out throughout the semester.
Exactly. What is your position again in the school system?
I am the International Baccalaureate coordinator for Phillips and Ramsey High School.
International. Mm-hmm. I really apologize for calling you state, baby girl. Man, Shane, jump in there. What do you think?
Just piggybacking on what both of them said, my two biggest concerns is timing and safety. I know safety is one. I teach third grade, so I look and see a lot of little stuff that the average third grade or the average 7 to 8 year old would do. They don't always wash their hands, or if they do wash their hand, it's like sticking their hand up under the water and then drying them off. There's no soap being put on their hands. They like sharing candy and snacks. How would that look? They like, just playing and tickling each other. How would that look? Also we have recess time where one kid may bring a ball, but the other kid may not have ball, but they can't share that ball. Or the girls normally play double dutch. Well, now they can't share a jump rope. So what would that even look like?
Wow, man, you guys don't understand. See, I kind of specialize in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I never really thought about double dutch, kickball, tag. You understand what I'm saying? And you guys are just really now opening my eyes to a whole nother world of concerns that you all are responsible for once the children are released into your care. So I'm telling y'all, man, I see another one of our daughters on, Alexia Gary, who's also a school teacher from our church. She says exactly. Looking at what she says. She says, imagine a kindergarten class.
I can't imagine.
Imagine what's going on in the kindergarten class. Yeah. How are we going to handle transporting back and forth? Anybody know what's going on with that?
Say that again, Pastor.
What's going on with transporting kids to and fro?
I saw a plan transporting kids. It would be, actually our kids where I work, at Ramsey, they have buses, but Phillips is no school buses anyway. But they're going to have to sit every other seat. And so I'm thinking if you have to see, the students are sitting every other seat, that's less kids that you can transport. So it would have to be multiple trips. So they would have to get more bus drivers or more trips. So it's
So it's going to take half a day to get the kids to the school, wouldn't it? Or would there be several buses at one time?
Well, see, that's what I kind of don't know.
I'm leaving at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Wow.
The bus. Oh, but it's one plan. It's an idea where you will have half the students attending school, so you will have half of the students attending. Is one way to kind of decrease the number. So you wouldn't have the entire 700 kids, trying to load the buses. You may have 350. That's pretty time consuming transporting students.
Wow.
I have a question. I would love an answer to this one. What is hands-on teaching gonna look like now? What does hands-on teaching look like?
Being a first year teacher, I really love and I'm real big on small groups, but one thing I will say is educators, we don't complain. Well, as educators, we shouldn't complain, we adapt. So hands-on teaching for my class, it will still take place. And it's going to be a lot of music in my class. We're going to listen to a whole lot of PG-13 rap songs, learning how to do stuff, getting up, doing a lot of moving to try to take their mind off of what's going on in the real world. But, I'm going to let them be alert and know what's going on. But in the classroom, I'm going to just make it the safest zone as, we can, just not have to think about what's going on.
Wow. Look at this right here. People are really thinking. They say, imagine them wanting to hug a teacher with underlying conditions and them having to stay away.
Right.
You say it again, Jessica.
And that's what I was thinking about as well. Smaller children in particular, even though middle schools are sometimes touchy too, but they like hugging and touching on their teacher. And how is that going to affect the student emotionally and psychologically when the teacher says, I cannot touch her or hug you? Because I know that's that's going to be something that we have to condition students or just kind of prep them on before they get into the school building. Or that definitely has to be something communicated the first days of school, how we're actually going to have school and why we're doing this. And it's not personal. It's not the teacher going to touch you because it's so, that's just a part of development for younger kids being able to have that contact with their teachers. So,
are you educators being asked to be tested prior to school starting?
I haven't seen that in writing, but I heard it, but I haven't seen it in writing on any of the drafts that they produced. So I'm kind of unsure about that.
Wow. What do you got to say about that one, Shane?
Honestly, from a personal level, they should, because I have Corona. It was bad. It wasn't as bad as I would think it was, but the after side effects that I knew nothing about is what really got me. Like throwing up nonstop for 2 days after testing negative. Being dizzy. I just stopped being dizzy yesterday. I was dizzy for like a whole 2 weeks nonstop. You know, some people complain about being dizzy off and on, but mine was nonstop for 2 weeks. I couldn't hold fluids down, nothing to eat down. I had to take medicine, and that was the worst part, because I literally had to stay in bed and I couldn't drive myself anywhere. So I'm young. I'm only 25, so I would say, you know, our teachers should be tested and should want to be tested before going back into the classroom, so they won't, you know, affect anyone else.
Wow. Brother R.J. Sanders, he asked a question, what will happen at daycares?
Oh, daycares. I have not a clue, and I'm just thinking daycares would even be even more difficult to operate, because you have even younger kids, and that social distancing and following the CDC rules and the health department rule. I don't know how they would do it. But some daycares are functioning. My nephew, as a matter of fact, he goes to a daycare. But when I tell you, I don't know what that looks like. He's been okay so far, but it's a smaller group. But they've been doing it.
Wow. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut somebody off. It's so amazing, because everybody know our church, Revelation Church, we do run a daycare. And I'm very proud to say that one of the top daycares in the state of Alabama. We are state licensed and state qualified, and we met all the state qualifications, surpassed. We went above and beyond. But we've decided that we're not going to open our doors for a while. We're going to be safe. We have had our building already microbially cleaned and sanitized, I think twice already. We're doing it now on a weekly basis. It could get expensive, but God has been good to us. We're doing it on a weekly basis. But that's with the adults in the building. But when it came to the daycare side of our ministry, my wife and I were just thinking, man, we're taking people's children into our hands. You know, we're taking their lives into our hands. And that's just a whole nother animal. That's just a whole nother discussion. And I'm really hoping that we could share some information today with some parents to kind of put some hearts and some minds at ease. You guys, Teresa, tell me, how far are you willing to go out of your way to protect folks' children?
Well, so far, and I'm in Jefferson County Schools. So far, you know, our superintendent released the plans generally on Thursday, and principals from there take that information to talk to their individual teachers and staff about what that looks like at our school. So my school meeting won't be until next week, but based off of what the superintendent said, he's giving families, our county is giving families choices. So they can go to school, in-person instruction, with us trying our best to keep folks clean. Again, we don't know specifically what that looks like in terms of us doing temperature checks or sanitizing stations. You know, that part hasn't been told to teachers yet, but they have that option. Or they can do, drawing a blank here. Shane, you're in Jefferson County too.
Virtual.
It's virtual, but the other remote, there we go. Remote learning, so that they can choose to stay at home. Like Shane said, those folks who may have older folks at home and they want to make sure they stay safe, or kids with asthma, you know, kids with autoimmune diseases. You know, our kids have those, you know, issues as well. So if they want to keep them home, then they can. And then every 9 weeks, if they want to change and go back to school, because maybe the numbers look better, or the child didn't get sick in the fall and they want to come back in the winter semester, they can.
So if I keep my child home for a semester, that's what uses semesters.
Yeah, for 9 weeks, yeah.
If a parent decides to keep a child home for a semester and then come into the classroom semester, the learning they did at home will be given credit for?
That's correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they'll get the credit. They'll have a Jefferson County teacher that would have been working with them those 9 weeks. And when they come back, then those grades, whatever was graded, all that stuff is a part of their record. So yeah, they'll definitely get credit, and they can go back and forth. That's the family choice. So I guess to give parents peace of mind that they have that choice when registration happens.
Right. I have a statement here from Jasmine Wright. She says Jefferson County's remote option is for long-term learning at home, the remote option. She says, but virtual learning is just for COVID.
Not quite. Virtual learning is going to be outsourced to Edmento, which is a virtual learning already agency that's been doing at-home learning. So the other option that Jasmine's talking about is where that's the fourth one, that if we've been said to go home by the health department, then we go into that option. So if the health department said to all schools, okay, y'all, these numbers, we need to go home. Then we're gonna go home and go back to remote learning like we did in the spring.
Let me ask y'all this question. Everybody, I want to hear all your hearts on this one. How do you all think this season is going to affect the students' learning? I mean, what if a student been home 9 weeks, now they're in school? Y'all get what I'm saying? How is that going to affect the child's education? Y'all, let me hear your heart.
Personally, on my bad, I have taught last year. I had a third grade in my class that was on the first grade understanding level. And
wait. You had your first year.
My first year.
You had a third grade class.
One of my third graders was on
one of them, not the class, but one of them.
Well, I say I had 25 kids, and it was like 8 that were not on grade level.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm looking at, they missed, what we did in the spring, because for Jefferson County, ours was optional. So once we got out after spring break, those kids really didn't have to do anything unless they chose to do it. And now we're coming back, and it's a big gap already.
Wow.
So I'm really concerned about what that would look like and what time would look like. Like she said, stress, because no teacher wants to leave nobody behind, even though they say go on with majority. But you still want to be, catch those lost sheep and try to catch them up with the rest of them. But it's going to be really stressful on the teacher and the students as well.
Wow. Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
I think it's going to be some achievement gaps, and where kids may not be, falling where they need to fall according to their grade level. And I really feel like the kids in early childhood, pre-K through, I would say 3rd grade or 4th grade is where you're probably going to get a lot, where you may have that achievement gap where it's going to be the most effective, because the way they learn is so much different than the way a middle schooler or a high schooler may learn. So I feel like the high school kids, they can kind of more so adapt to the virtual and learning and remote learning, and they can kind of keep up because they develop that kind of skill set and they have the foundation. But the foundation I'm kind of concerned about, but with the proper support, tutors, and a parent understanding on how to keep the child on grade level and making sure that the school system provides those services, I think the kids will be okay if the teachers, parents, and everybody do their part. So
now, when we talk about a PTA, in this sense now, PTA really needs to be on steroids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, we really need to be working there. Now, I'm very proud to say that the entire time my children were in school, my wife and I, of course, my wife led in that area more than I was working a lot, but we stayed in the school building. We were president of PTAs. When my sons played high school football, I became president of the booster clubs. We were in, I knew my children's teachers' numbers. I went into their homes. The principal and I are still friends to this day, Van Phillips. We took education personal. I kind of have a hurt in my heart for those students who parents that didn't have a clue in normal circumstances. And then I look at what Thomas Chester says, and what about those children from low-income families that don't have a smart TV, don't have internet access? What are we going? Is there anything anybody's doing to try to bridge that gap?
I think the State Department they are releasing funds to kind of meet
Great.
the needs of the students and make sure they have some some technology and computers and Wi-Fi. And then I think the districts are also working diligently. I would say our school board, they're working diligently to make sure that kids have, access to the internet and they have the proper resources to learn virtually and remotely. It may
Yeah,
it, it's going to take a while because we're still trying to catch up with
Still trying to catch up. I got you.
catch up, but I think it's in the works, and it's just they're trying to. I say they're trying to do the best they can with the way things have have come about.
Right. Have we chosen a new school? What we need? Who just left? The superintendent?
In Birmingham, we have an interim superintendent, Dr. Mark Sullivan, my former principal, and so I know and I believe in Dr. Sullivan. I'm
Good news.
A little biased, but I believe and I know he cares for the children.
Right.
And I know he puts children first. So I know he's down at the board and he's working to get it done.
Is he from in-house?
He is from in-house. He's also
Great.
graduate of Woodland High School, and I'm a graduate of Woodland High School as well.
Oh man, I apologize.
So he's a product of Birmingham City School. So I just have faith in him, and I know his work ethic, and I know his heart, and I know how he will make things happen.
So what is his name again?
Dr. Mark Sullivan.
Dr. Mark Sullivan. I want to ask everybody online now, if you would, watching with us, let's go ahead now, be interceding. Let's be in prayer for Dr. Mark Sullivan, interim superintendent, and the entire school board. Amen. All of our teachers, our staff workers, the full gambit, because right now this is a very serious situation that's going on, and we really want to make or help do our part to ensure that our children are being properly educated and cared for. That makes sense to everybody? Yeah. Go ahead, Teresa. You were about to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that the county is working on something similar to what Jessica said about Birmingham City, about creating some hotspots by using buses that way as well. Like they can station buses around and partner with different businesses to create hotspots for folks who don't have internet access, and trying to put text in the in the hands of families. I'm not sure the details of that yet, but I know that's something that they are working on because they know that's
what in the hands of families.
Tech, put like Chromebooks or some kind of other technology, in the hands of kids.
I realize all of this is about funding. Let's be real about it. All this is about funding. That's why the census is so important. We need everybody to fill out your census. Is that over? Have we passed that date yet?
No.
I don't think so.
If you didn't do it, get to that census. I realize funding is so important because my grandchildren are in school now. Angela and I, we have 11 grands, and they're all in somebody's school. They're all of school age. But in the school system where my grandkids attend, I don't know what grade, but they're all given Chromebooks. And they bring them home. And I think the Chromebook actually stay with them until they graduate. Is that not how it works? And I'm so amazed. And I'm like, wow, man, what can we do? Or what should be done in Birmingham what can I do to spearhead a project to get that done? How about that? What can Pastor Mike do to take on that project? And we try to put a Chromebook in all our people's hands. How about that?
I think what we can do is find the community partners, find churches, find other individuals who can help donate Chromebooks. But I know school systems were charged, school districts or whatever, they were charged with doing inventory on how many Chromebooks and computers they have, so they'll know how many they need to give out to, how many they need for students. But once they have used all those, once they give them out and they need more, I think it's going to have to be with a community, and community partners are going to play a huge part in that. So partnering with the schools, adopting a school, and just working with them to donate the computers. So kids who don't have the computers, who don't have, internet hotspot, whatever phones or whatever they may need, that's where they're going to have to try to pull together to make it work.
Right. Anybody know Shicara Hudson Smith?
No.
Okay, Miss Smith, You said, I know my district is giving out computers. Can you please post what district that is? Is that the Birmingham? When she say district, I'm not familiar. What is a school district? Is that different? Are there different districts within one county?
So I know I teach at Hewitt. I'm at Hewitttown, and they fall under Jefferson County. And they have been sending us out emails about our technology. So we have a new school this year, a totally new building, and they got new technology as well. So they're working to try to get all the numbers of how many students we have. So they said if the health department does, send all students home, that every student will get a Chromebook to take home with them.
From Hueytown?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Let me ask this question. If it come down to it, and I saw Pastor Kevin Bryant just a moment ago, he said we need to make all our churches a hotspot. I believe
that would be great.
Internet, correct?
That would be great. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we said make all the churches a hotspot. We're saying open up our internet so that anyone within a certain area can get on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so then, Teresa, if you would, make a note for Pastor Mike. Ensure that we are a hotspot.
Okay.
And then make a note and remind me, and Jessica, you guys be ready to jump on board to support me if I have to do this. Let's find out what we got to do if we have to do anything to ensure that but how can we make it so, finding partners in the community, whatever, to get these Chromebooks in these children's hands? Okay? I guarantee Pastor Mike and many of us, we know people who can write the check. We know people who can write the check. And I'm that guy. I have not because I asked not. So I don't mind asking. I will pay. All you can tell me is no. I'm not doing this for Mike. I'm not looking to get a name. We're not looking to brand ourselves. Much of what we do, Teresa, we do twice a week already. You had it.
That's right.
Nobody ever know about it. We have not been on Facebook once. We've not taken pictures. We've not been on the news. I'm so sick of seeing pastors on the news talking about feeding folk this same produce that everybody's feeding. I'm being honest. I had her here with us bragging about doing what we should be doing in the first place. So you don't get a start from me for doing what you ought to do. So we got to do that. And right there, let me show y'all something already. See, that's the kind of friends I have right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what it's going to take. It's going to take in Birmingham City, Jefferson County. I'm thinking about like Fairfield City Schools, Midfield City Schools, Bessemer City Schools. It's going to take community outcry, community work to get the tech that we need, because it is funding. That's what it's about. It's about money. That's why we don't have nurses. That's why we don't have, why we got 28 kids in one classroom. Why we got 32 kids in one classroom. Come on now. And we got a social distance with that. But what is that about? That's about funding.
It's not
about not having enough money to hire another teacher to split that classroom up.
Wow.
So yeah, it takes community outcry to cry out about that instead of like small things like what's for lunch.
Right.
And I want to make it clear to everyone viewing us, we are not here to hurt our school systems.
Absolutely.
We love our school systems.
Yes, we do.
Very proud of what our school. I am a product of the Birmingham school system. What?
Yeah.
Right. I attended Powderly Elementary. I attended Hudson Elementary. I attended West End High School. Okay? Yes. Sister Wedgeworth is a product of Woodlawn High. Them Colonels. Isn't that right?
That's right, Colonel's Road.
That's right. Teresa, where you attended high school, Teresa?
I went to Alabama School of Fine Arts, so it's a state school.
Okay, some of us are a little up, but that's okay.
Everybody needs talent.
You went what school back home?
Greenville High School.
Greenville High. I think Kevin Bryant, who say he's with us, I think he attended Winona High School. So we understand that we got to get down. We just got to work together, and we got to make this thing happen. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
Now, I heard you say something, Teresa, that kind of again stood out. I don't understand. There is no way possible we can properly social distance a classroom, average size classroom, 6 feet different distance in every direction, with 32 children?
Right. So that's the question. And that's what every school, every teacher is, and every principal is trying to figure out now. And I don't know if we have answers to that yet until we get in there. But I think, did I hear something about the CDC changing from 6 feet to 3 feet under the president's pressure? But even if it was 3 feet, that's still
President who?
Possible.
President who?
Of the country, President Trump, under his pressure about the CDC rules being too strict. So there's like, okay, well, 3 feet.
Did
But
President
still,
Trump ever attend college?
I think so, but I don't know if he went to class.
Does he have a degree?
He does, but I don't think he went to class.
What is the president degree in?
I have to look it up, but I know he has one though.
Ivy League school. I think he paid somebody to do his tests and stuff.
I think that's what I heard. I think a book is about to come out by one of his nieces or something like that. And those are one of the things she's saying. I don't know. But let's keep going. So now, answer this question. In your classroom, have you made a plan to microbially clean your classroom, and how often would you be doing it?
I honestly feel like that's not my job. And I'm sorry. I feel like that is the job. I love our custodial staff. They are some good people. When I tell you, them folks work hard. I love and appreciate them. But I want to concentrate on making sure my students have the supplies that they can't share, like Shane said. So now that means I have to set up 28 math center supply stacks and reading centers and all that good jazzy stuff. I want to concentrate on that. I don't want to have to be in charge of cleaning up my classroom. Now, will I probably be my job? Yeah. But I don't think that should be my job. I'm sorry, that was my take.
But you're willing to do what you got to do. That's what you're saying?
Yes. But those are the things I feel like when everyone's making these plans for us to go back to school, that no one is considered. Now, I've not received a survey yet asking teachers, how do you think this should look? Nobody has asked us.
Wow.
And so those are the things that I feel like people don't consider. So I think, Shane, I'm still your thunder, sir. You can add to it. But he posted on Facebook that he was going to play Wipe It Down, and that's a cue for the kids to get their wipes and start wiping their spot down. So we're going to be in there, wipe it down. We're going to clean it. So
Ms. Jones, are you actually in the classroom? You're not actually in the classroom, are you?
I'm not actually in the classroom, no.
Will you work from an office?
I have an office, and I'm gonna be hiding out. No, I'm not. But
well, Pickler, what do you think? How often will you be cleaning your classroom?
Probably about every 30 minutes. We'll wipe down, make sure everything's sanitized. Every 30 minutes.
Wow.
If they allow us to change classes, then we'll do it before we leave for PE, and when we come back, everybody wash hands again. Or when we go to music, we'll wipe down, and when we come back, everybody wash hands. But we don't know if they're gonna let us change classes too, because that was up in the air.
I think our music and technology teacher will be coming to our classes at our school.
Oh, right. The teacher will rotate rather than the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been a suggestion. Absolutely.
Now, that is amazing. Let me get back to the superintendent again. Ms. Jones, tell me some more about Ms. Wedgeworth. Tell me some more about the superintendent. Is he a great guy?
He's a great guy. He's a phenomenal guy, and very smart. Very astute. And he also stays. He's engaged in the learning. He's hands-on. He also stays up to. He's cutting edge, so he knows what works and what's going on in the education, and that's what he encourages is education.
How can I get him on this show?
You can. You want me to ask?
Yeah, text him right now. Tell him to call me.
Well, I'll text him tomorrow on Monday.
Y'all know I'm Mike McClure. Anybody, if I say call me, you're supposed to call me, man. I'd be like, hey, if I ask the president to call me, he needs to be calling me, right?
I'm like, I was gonna text him. I was like, no, I can't text on Sunday. I said, so I want to wait on Monday because just because I can text the superintendent I'm going to be, respectful. I'll text him tomorrow and ask him to come on here.
He has a heavy job on his hand, doesn't he?
He really does. And I say, no matter what decision, it's really any leader. And I put this in a parent with a purpose. We have a group. It doesn't, leaders have they're charged to do a lot. And no matter what the decision is going to be, it's not going to please all. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be perfect. So I really, I'm hearing all leaders who are taking the lead, because it's a very difficult time to lead. And I'm really praying for Dr. Sullivan, because I always rooted for him to be superintendent. But I didn't, foresee him becoming, even an interim superintendent time of COVID, where everything is just unprecedented and it's uncharted territories. But I know he can do it. If he can make it through this, it's like when I first started teaching. When I was teaching in a trailer with nobody out there, and I was 25 years old, like Shane. I survived that year at Putnam Middle School. So if you can make it through a tough year, he can make it through any other year. So that's what I'm going to say. That's the light at the end of the tunnel for me. Whoever's leading through this time right now, if they make it through this, they can make it through anything. Do
you think he will get the job permanently?
I'm going to say yes, because I think it's time for someone who in-house. Do
you know Dr. W.J. May?
I think he was a principal.
He principal for many years. He's been on the school board.
I do know Dr. May. I do.
He spoke to me a couple weeks ago, because I put my nose in everything. I really do. I really am involved a whole lot more than people think. So I was concerned about who the superintendent would be. And I called around and made a recommendation. I did. The person I was recommending, because I don't know this gentleman, but she came in second place before our last superintendent. And she's now the superintendent of, I believe, Fairfield. And that's Miss Regina Dumas. Miss Dumas and I attended elementary school and high school. I think she was a grade or two above me. She was a grade or two above me. I think she maybe graduated in 79. I graduated in 81. So I wanted someone from within the system. Mm-hmm. So I really did. But I'm glad to hear that this brother, and what's his name again?
Dr. Mark Sullivan.
Dr. Sullivan is from within the system. Now, from being within the system, did he matriculate through the school system?
He did. He taught elementary school. I forgot where, but he's been an elementary school teacher.
No. Was he a student in the system?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
wow. I might just like this guy. I might just like him.
Yeah, we went to Woodlawn. He went to
I'm sorry.
Hudson? Not Hudson. He was from the north side too.
Okay.
Side as well.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping it work out. Well, Jasmine Wright must have Googled. She said President Trump has a BS, and that's probably right, in finance. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So you feel like he's going to be great for the school system?
I do.
And this is a lot of weight on his shoulders, isn't it?
Most definitely.
Oh, my God. Now, let me ask this question. Do you all believe, what's been the word about the school teachers themselves? Are we having any kickback from the educators about coming back?
Yeah, there's a lot of nerves because we still don't know what it looks like, the day-to-day, the details of what it looks like. And I think once we get that about what the in-school teaching face-to-face will look like, then that'll answer some questions. But you have a lot of teachers who have the diseases or the health issues already, that they're concerned about their own health. Not just, of course, the health of the students, because who wants to see their babies sick, but we're also concerned about whether or not we get sick. And just during cold and flu season, just the regular cold and flu season, we get sick too. And so then what happens to our students when we have to go home? And then what happens to our families when we have to go home? I'm already thinking I live with my parents. My parents are older. I'm going to have to probably change clothes and wash hands before I come back in the house, just to make sure, I keep them safe.
Let me put something real quick. If we took on a project to put these Chromebooks in the hands of our students in the Birmingham school system, and I don't want to put them on the spot, but if I could, approximately how many computers are we talking about?
Oh, shoot.
Well, I really don't know how. it could be thousands of computers because the district has about, I want to say 14,000 students.
Wow.
But some schools have computers. You know, some schools, depending on how they use their funding, some schools may be 1-to-1, meaning that every student has a computer. So they may not be in need. It's really figuring out looking at that inventory, the data, and seeing who needs the computers and what they need.
So if I take on, not if, when we take on that project, Mr. Coleman, the superintendent.
My superintendent?
Yes, the interim.
Dr. Sullivan.
Dr. Sullivan, give me a moment. Dr. Sullivan, he would have answers to those questions, correct?
Yes, he should know by now what
Right.
the need is. So we need to know the need. Yes.
Okay.
All right. And then, Pastor, I think you've met Dr. Gosselin at Jefferson County Schools.
Dr. Gosselin, I have.
Yes. So he's our superintendent for Jefferson County Schools.
Man, these are, wow. If we start this project, we got to look at both of these systems, don't we? County,
right.
Because they kind of intermingle here and there.
Yeah.
So it's a huge, it's a huge undertaking. It's a huge need. So that's why I was saying it's going to take the communities to do it. Yeah.
I didn't know for a long time, and I was glad to find out. I became friends with Dr. Marsh. Dr. Marsh, y'all know Dr. Marsh? He was the principal for a while at Shays Valley High School. And I worked with him and worked with several other principals around the area, through the years. And I didn't know that Shays Valley was a county school for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Wait a minute, look at this. I don't know how accurate this is, but Ebony Hill says that Birmingham City alone is 30,000 students.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. And Jefferson County is probably bigger than that.
Yeah, Jefferson County is
the county.
Jefferson County is the biggest district, I believe, in the area. So.
Wow. We have some work to do, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we don't know how many they need. So we may
right.
It may be the 14,000 that I estimate. I was 50% off, but it just depends, and it may be from school to school, depending on it just varies from school to school.
Absolutely, it does.
The principals may know more how many they need versus the superintendent.
Because some schools get grants and some schools write and get more grants than another school. So some, like my school is a 1-to-1 technology. Every student already have their own Chromebook. Right. Some schools, the teacher across the hall share Chromebooks. It just depends on the school and the community.
Well, we know sharing is open.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is.
We're not even going to deal with that.
Share.
Yeah, so they've been really working. It's from my understanding, both the county and the city have been working really hard all summer long to acquire more technology because we knew that sharing would go out the door. So, once you inquire, because I want to say they really have been working hard, and the few times I've been at the district for different meetings, just kind of peeping around corners, being nosy, we could see like stacks of technology because they were trying to get inventory in and kind of count, kind of fill in some gaps.
Wow. I'm really now, you guys, I'm so grateful to you guys for this enlightenment. Let me bring this in real quick. This is my guy. Dr. Bryant says, but we should be looking to something.
Probably put it in the homes.
Put in the homes where families can't buy them for themselves. Need, not greed. Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, Pastor. I think that's, first of all, let's meet the need.
Right.
There's a term I like to use around Revelation Church. It's called need-oriented evangelism. Need-oriented evangelism. I believe if you meet a person's need, sell me Jesus when you fed me a steak and I'll listen better. When I'm hungry, I can't really hear you good about your God and nobody else's. So I believe we meet the need first. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sure.
Brian, we're with you right there. We got to do it. Yeah. We would just have to come up with a system to discover what the needs are.
Right. And I think Birmingham City, they did a survey I know within the school how many kids had computers, how many kids had, access to internet. So they have some data to kind of use to see, how they are going to meet the need of the students who may not have it.
It's so amazing because in the school system with my grandchildren, I don't know how they determine, as far as I know, when you enrolled in the school at a certain grade up, you got the Chromebook. I mean, it wasn't about whether you needed it. You got the Chromebook. You were issued a Chromebook just like you were issued a locker.
Yeah, their school is probably set up for 1-to-1, which means that every student has the Chromebook or the iPad to use.
That's my heart desire.
Yeah, and that has been my heart desire for some years, to be honest. Is why don't we have computers for students to use? Why do we have technology and it's not up to par with other school districts? But once again, that goes back to funding and how we use our money. Because when I was in graduate school, I did work on technology. When I did the research, I saw then that Birmingham City, we needed to do work as relates to technology. Like it wasn't up to par even back then, 4 or 5 years ago, compared to other school districts. So I'm just always just like, why are we here? What are we doing?
Right.
Okay. So it's going to take us. I know Pastor Brian is on. He and I both know other pastors. And I want to say this now. Wait a minute. Here's my friend. Wait a minute. Let me see what Pastor Doug said. He says that the Chromebooks were part of the Google Pilot program. I never heard about the Google Pilot program, Pastor Doug. He'll share that with me. I never heard anything about the Google Pilot program. Hey, Shane, you ready to smile and laugh?
Yes, sir.
Watch this. Everybody, we're laughing because this particular brother Reginald Graves, is one of my at-risk children. He'll be inboxing me now. Like that. He's another one outside. He's also an educator. Brother Gray. I should have brought him on tonight. He's a counselor.
Yes.
In the school system. And I know last year he was confronted with many opportunities where his counseling was needed. And I just, man, we got to be in prayer for Reginald Graves and the things he's dealing with. So, thank you so much for that, brother. We really appreciate that. A whole heap of lot. Y'all heard that, a whole heap of lot. So, guys, let me hear you real quick. I'll start with Teresa. We'll come on up to Shane, and we'll close out with Sister Jessica. Give me some final remarks. Anything you want to share concerning school, education, the need for Chromebooks. I'm waiting on Pastor Doug to see if he say something else about that Google Pilot program. Or anything else you want to share concerning school. You got, take what time you need. Go ahead, share your heart.
Well, I think as we go into this school year, as a mom, I have a 7th grader. So I understand the need from a parent's point of view. So I think we should all go into it being flexible, because things are going to change, because it's just a flexible season that we're in. To be patient with your teachers, parents, and teachers. Be patient with our parents and with our students, because it's all a learning curve. This is all new to all of us. So to my brand new teachers, my 2nd year teacher friends, we're all learning in this thing together and I'm in the middle. I'm like, this is my 4th year, so I'm still learning too. But veteran teachers are learning this thing too. So we got to be patient with one another, be flexible, and just put it all in God's hands. Try our best to keep each other safe. And before we even get there, wear your mask. Teach your buddies, your friends to wear a mask if they haven't already been doing so. Teach your kids to wear masks. Teach them how to open their own little stuff in the cafeteria, the little one, kindergarten, 1st grade. If they don't know how to open their juice boxes, you don't want your teacher to have to put their hand on their straw. So small things like that. Teach them how to open up their lunch stuff. Is going to help them stay clean and help them wear their mask as well.
Hey, man, thank you so much, Sister T. We really appreciate you. For several years, you headed our children's church, and I'm just being honest. I get blamed for not putting the funds we should have put on our children's church, but I don't mind taking that because I realize people that make those statements were not paying bills. They never understood that when I made a promise to do a certain thing in children's church, of those funds, when many times we would do first fruit. But what really happened was somebody's first fruit was just a replacement of their tithe. So although a large first fruit would come in, a lower tithe would come in. I couldn't do what I promised I would do. And that's what happens in the school system. So I'm well aware. Man, I'm so well aware you'll be amazed. I'm used to it now. I got a target right here, shoot me. But I want to thank you so much for all the work you did and for taking all that work and throwing it in the lap of Miss Jessica Wordsworth Jones. And Jessica, you taking it and you taking off running, and you got our virtual system going. And good news is finally, Lord God is seeing fit to open doors that whenever we're back in the building, our children's church will be like never before. And I'm excited. It took some time, but God did it. So I'm so excited. So thank you both. Thank everybody that participated in it. I really appreciate it. But Shane, come on, bro. Let me hear your heart. And hey, bro, let me say I love you again, man.
I love you too, Pastor. So
come on, let me hear your heart.
My heart is I'm practicing in this season of 3 P's. Being prayerful, patient, and persistent. Praying, prayer changes things. So whenever we're going through, just pray. Patience is a virtue. We got to be patient because the world has never really seen nothing like this before.
Right.
I'm young. I never thought I would live through this, and y'all are older than me, and I know y'all would never think y'all would live through this. So we just have to be patient and persistent. We just got to continue to firmly go through what we're going through, knowing and hoping that it will be a great outcome.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Ms. Wedgeworth.
All right. Everything they said. But I agree. We have to continually to pray. And that's every day, every moment, as we move through this season of COVID, and we pray and just pray anyway, and throughout our and we just do that anyway. But one thing I want, making sure that when we get back to the school, that we are open-minded. Being open-minded to new possibilities and being creative is what I say. Because, things are not going to be as they were. So we have to recreate it and make it to where we can be safe and we can make it work. And kids are going to learn and teachers are going to be safe. So that's what I say. Be open to remote learning. Be open to blended learning. Because we didn't mention blended learning. It's like a mixture of two. And just... and like Teresa said, it's just being adaptive because every day it could change. It could change tomorrow as to what the plan is depending on the numbers. So that's what I say. And last, I would like to say, because I am a policy type of person, that we need to also keep making sure that we look on the school website, that we know what the policy is, and parents, teachers, community stakeholders look at the policy and read it. Some teachers were concerned about the employment, and there was an emergency. Is the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Teachers, make sure you read that so you will know what to do when you have to take leave and how you're protected, how families are protected. So that's kind of what I want to leave you all with. And I know the school year will be fine. Students are going to learn, and we're going to keep it moving like we always do as educators.
Praise God. In closing, Mr. Graves made a statement. He said, please complete the parent and student survey. What is that? What is the parent and student survey?
Well, the district sent out a parent and student survey, and the last one it talks about what type of learning that would you prefer. Do you want to do remote learning? Do you want virtual learning? How safe you feel, the safety that you will feel when you enter the school. So that's the student and parent learning. There's also Birmingham City. Well, this may not be coronavirus. Never mind. It's not corona. But they sent out a survey as it relates to the superintendent too, to all community stakeholders, parents and students. Parents and teachers, surveying what are you looking for in a superintendent.
And you can find those on the website for Jefferson County as well as Birmingham City Schools, or go to your school website because it'll have a link to that survey, because it's the way that we can gather information and data from families.
I thank you all I really appreciate it. I'm very proud to call all three of you my sons and my daughters. You guys make me look good. I feel so smart tonight. But I'm so grateful. Let's continue to do what we do from our heart. Let's continue to do our part to ensure that our children are being properly educated and protected at the same time. Okay, let me throw this in there real quick. It says here, there it is, that the survey is electronic, but some parents don't have the technology or know how to complete it. Is it a way they can have it mailed to their house or something?
Now that I'm not sure. They may be able to call the school, and if the school secretary may know.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure what we got to do now is, because it's I've learned now, you can throw the blanket out there. You're not going to cover everybody. So right. I believe when I find out that I'm not covered, I'm going to call somebody to tell them I'm cold. So I think it's up to the parents now that's not being covered to call that school, call somebody they know, go to that school and ask, what can I do or what's got to be done to make this happen? Does that make sense? And we want to make sure we do that. Erica Roan, thank you so much. She said, great conversation. Pastor Brian, he said, absolutely wonderful. I thank God for y'all, man. I love you so much. Thank you for coming on. I'm going to have you all on again. Sister Wedgeworth, Jones Wedgeworth, I would love to, please help me. You're my connect. I want to meet the new interim superintendent. I want to get to know. I want him to know you have an ally in Pastor McClure, an ally in Pastor Doug Taylor, an ally in Pastor Kevin Bryant, and we represent a whole group of guys, men and women, when I say guys, that will gladly come alongside and help support the school system and see to that our children are properly educated. To Brother Reginald Graves, who came in and out, he was driving. I want to say to him, I still consider him a son of our house. We're going to be praying also for you because your task, man, may be tripled now with counseling. And I saw a question earlier. I'm going to let you guys go. I saw a question earlier. And I thought, wow, somebody asked, if a student in a classroom comes in positive for COVID, will they be quarantining the entire class or the entire school?
And that's the part we don't know. We don't have those answers yet. So they're still working out lot details and those type of things that are still being worked out policy wise. How it's going to happen?
Let's pray. Our Father God, we're absolutely grateful to you tonight for your grace and your mercy. We're absolutely grateful tonight that you loved us enough to allow us to come together and have this conversation. We're praying now in Jesus' name that you will continue to bless our educators, our interim superintendent, Dr. Sullivan, all of our students, God, our staff, our clinicians, our professors, our counselors, God, those that will be coming in doing the special things to meet the special needs of some of our students. We're praying, God, for bus drivers, aides, and everyone that will be working in this system around our children. We're praying, God, that your perfect will would be accomplished. And at the end of the day, you will get glory. We pray this now in the powerful, precious, pertinent name of your son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Hey, man, I love y'all. Thank you so much, okay?
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for being a part of the Mike McClure Show. And we're back.
Welcome to the Mike McClure Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mike McClure Show. I introduce to you. Welcome to the Mike McClure Show. Prince of the Revolution. Welcome to the Mike McClure Show. Mike McClure. Come on. You are welcome to